today. They've been particularly consistent, one of the few teams that hasn't been down the road whilst pushing really hard. It's got to be said that Nowland, you would think, might have a third ride in this situation, Dennis. This is his second appearance so far today. They're using Stouffer as a reserve, so perhaps Jamie will only ride the once and Nowland will ride the 3 times. You'd certainly expect them to bring him back out, and certainly Willis has got one more ride up his sleeve.
I think that's probably what will happen. Willis's shoulder is giving him some complaints, and that's why they put Stouffer on to do that middle section of the race when Mark was due to get back on it. He's just saying that he'd either save himself and ride 100% for a full session later on in the event.
Guys starting to come into the pit lane now as we start to get towards that business end of the deal where your fuel and your tyres is so very critical.
Well, another thing that comes into these 6-hour races is your fitness and stamina. We'll go down to the pits now for a different look at things with Wade Unja and Paul Karras.
Now this race is in fact 6 hours long, so it starts to work on your muscles a bit here. And well, Karras, I see you've got the fully trained official here working on you.
Yeah, mate, it definitely helps after a 40-minute stint out on the bike. Can't do anything for fatigue, but you can sure sort of relax and prepare yourself for the next sort of stint. Try to drink as many fluids as you can, and try to eat as much sort of energy drink and protein as much as possible. Try to get your fluid back up and your energy level back up. Go out for the next session.
And where's the official that feeds you the grapes, mate?
She's around here somewhere. I think it's some girl in the yellow top.
If you don't mind, can I just have a little bit off my shoulders too there? I'm just a little bit tight myself. Oh, that's great. Back to you, Dennis. Oh.
Yeah, thanks, Wade. I'll do the hard work here in commentary. Well, back on the track now. Here we have 77 out in the kitty litter. Just manages to save it. Keeping right off line there. You can see Marty Atley starting to come through there. Now on machine 2, coming up to a gaggle of slower riders here. He has to really take some caution to get through here cleanly.
We're from Ambassadors Christian Motorcycle Club. You're watching Speed Week. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Welcome back. You're watching Speed Week's coverage of the Austar 2 Wheels Magazine 6-hour endurance race from Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway. Your race leader currently is Warwick Nowland, the World Endurance Champion aboard this, the 34 Motul Suzuki. He's not messing around at all with traffic. The Bike Biz team, however, are still in with a chance. Well, Tony Rees, Warwick Nowland is now really turning up the heat. You've got a small problem with him.
Yeah, Warwick's good. He's done a lot of endurance racing in the last couple of years, and he's world champion endurance races. So and they're doing good, consistent times. I went out then with a pretty old tyre, so I sort of struggled a little bit. But we just got to keep going to the end, And I think they're pretty hard work. All 3 riders are good. So
yeah.
So there's a little bit of a variance between us 3. So we just keep going. Yamaha's going really well.
Well, I think Tony Rees has been around long enough to know you never ever give up, but if he could see this, he'd have tears in his eyes because Warwick Nowland is just ripping around this place like he owns it. Number 34 bike. It's just been a very, very big day for this team so far. In fact, coming up behind the Bike Biz number 7 and Graham Morris on board. So you look at Nowland just right up his... That shouldn't be happening, should it? Should he be able to match that thing for straight line speed?
Yeah, well, it just shows you how fast these Suzukis are. Well, there's a leading machine coming into the pits now. Now, I think this will be a scheduled stop to put a new tyre and possibly even a new front wheel in it. But just look how fast Warwick Nowland. I think 3 or 4 riders he slips through here. He's just on a mission at the moment and really doing absolutely everything perfectly right.
Well, he's going to make a change. I wonder whether it will be Stouffer or Willis who climbs back on board the bright yellow rocket ship. They're taking new rubber by the looks of things. Of course, they're going with fuel, and that's Mark Willis warming up to come back on the bike. Nowland just chatting with him. I think that Stouffer might have done his job. You can see Dennis Neal down there getting the scoop for us on what this team is going to be doing. I think you'll probably see Warwick back on the bike for the final hour. Willis, look at him just psyching himself up, getting ready to go back out there. The Bike Biz team probably causing this operation the biggest grief just at the moment. Whether they can maintain the intensity is another question entirely. A little bit of a problem here. We'll ask Dennis Neal what in fact the go is as soon as this team gets out of here and Dennis scrambles back up here. And Dennis just finding out what the go is right there. This is an exceptionally long stop really when you consider it. So this is allowing Rees plenty of time for their team to get back in the order. Of course, you'll see Rees swing back on that final section. And man, this is an eternity. I bet Dean Evans didn't foresee this long a stop. Away goes Willis and Dennis Neal. We got to find out, man, what that was a pretty casual stopover.
What actually happened there, Wade, was one of the organisers came down, or the officials from the timing people came down. The transponder wasn't giving out the correct signals. There's two timing systems here, a manually operated stopwatch system and a transponder system as a backup. They wanted to replace the transponder on the bike, and it took about a minute to get a new one fitted.
Well, Dowson getting back on the number 2 bike and heading back out, so he's taken over from where Atlee has been charging around, and Marty's been putting in a solid ride. So Dowson on probably his last, well, no doubt, his last ride today. You see the changeover on the number 7 team. It's G on board the bike at the moment, that very distinctive helmet. You can see Tony Reese in the background there, helping out with the team. So G going out on the second last stint. I think you'll see Reese all fired up for the last hour. The guys look like they're changing front tire on that bike.
Well, this stopped taking a bit longer than usual. It looked to me, Wade, that they might have changed the front brake pads. Unusual. I wasn't advised that any other teams were planning to change pads, but these big R1s obviously pulling up a bit more weight and much faster. Obviously they've decided they need to change front pads.
Labbard and Wilshaw still carrying on very strongly. There goes the Buell. It's still running hard as well. Willis is back. Hey, this has closed things right up then. You just saw Dowson in behind Willis on board the 34. Trouble here. And these guys have had a tough run all day. I think it's Rock and Whalen aboard the number 30 bike. Got the budget deal on the back there as well. It's just been a day that some guys would prefer not to have gone through. How hard do you think he's trying here as Willis? Warming up the Dunlops, aren't we?
Wow, he's really got it lit up there, and that was a graphic shot from the Speed Week photographers there. It really shows just how hard he is riding that bike.
Now we're on board on the Aprilia RS250, the Normoil team, and oh man, a little bit proppy just in front. Great shots here, just shows you how far they get these bikes over, not so much to the left, but to the right like that. To be continuing on at this kind of pace, I don't think the lap times have dropped away too much. You've generally got a bit of a study of these things, how the lap times compared throughout the day, as these guys wind it in. The right-hander coming up to the left directly after. A lot of traffic here in a cluster.
Yeah, there is a cluster, and you get a good picture of the weather conditions there. Still very, very heavily clouded and overcast. It certainly isn't out of the question that it's going to rain yet. There's still a fair way to go in this race. A lot of the teams that are running the budget strategy and like keeping the tyres on as long as possible, if we do get some rain, they'll really be in trouble.
See how the Aprilia handles the straight line speed coming up shortly, though. This is over that blind corner, really tight right-hander coming up. Whoa, big move on the inside. I think that's the 77 bike of Souness. Oh, look at that. Beautiful pass on the inside. Aprilia handles nice.
Yeah, that really is an unusual camera angle there, and you couldn't get much closer to the action than what you just saw.
One of the Buells there in the field as well. In fact, the only Buell in the field today is Bailey. And here is Willis looking to consolidate the lead that Nowlan has built up. You saw him earlier just heating up that tyre. Big ride from Dowson today. He and Atlee have really combined very well, I thought. Still the Bike Biz boys trying to hammer away at this advantage that this team has got. The Motul Suzuki, late in the day, Willis said it's riding a little bit injured. Did I hear you say earlier?
Yeah, he's getting over a broken collarbone that he did quite a few weeks ago, and just felt that he wasn't totally fit to go 100% in that earlier round. That's what I sent Jamie Stafer out on the bike, and it was a great experience for Jamie, and he did a brilliant job. He had a lot of pressure on him, and he certainly kept his end of the bargain up, and in fact was only lapping probably about half a second slower than what Nolan and Willis are doing.
Working their way back through the centre section, we are well and truly into the 5th hour of this, the Austar Two Wheels Magazine 6-hour endurance event from Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway. Damien Cudlin and Matt Jory, a combination, another young combination riding today on the 52 bike, smartly turned out machine.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and I think they're in fact leading the 600 class, according to my calculations. A little bit of controversy over the lap scoring here today. It, as I said earlier, has two ways of doing it, the manual system and the transponders. There's been some problems with a lot of the teams looking at the TV monitors, the times coming off the transponders. There's been a few arguments and heated discussions going back and forth between the officials and the competitors, but hey, it wouldn't be a 6 hour if it wasn't like that. way back in the times when I used to race, there was always arguments, and often it wasn't settled until about a year after the event, after many court cases and so on, until you got the final result.
Roland Trucker's had a pretty strong day at the office so far aboard the 22, got off to an absolutely fantastic start. And here is Michael Dowson. I hope he's enjoying his experience today. The Eastern Creek Motorcycle Wreckers #2 bike he's shared with Marty Atley. Both these guys have done a heck of a job, and I bet Michael Dowson has had a fun day at the office as he heads down that long straightaway at Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway. Here is Paul G aboard the #7 Bike Biz Yamaha. That team currently in second position and trying to run down that elusive 34 Suzuki. Let's take a look back at hour 5, the penultimate hour in this year's Austar Two Wheels Magazine 6-hour endurance event. Man, this guy is greased lightning today. Warwick Nowlan getting off the bike and handing it over to Mark Willis. Paul G climbing on the Bike Biz Yamaha with just Tony Rees left to come back out and play. The Rock team having some dramas, some great onboard stuff here. The Aprilia 250 action has been fantastic further back in the order. We're heading to the last hour now. Well, coming into the pits now as we enter the final hour of this year's Austar Two Wheels Magazine 6-hour is the Gary Crilly Paul Dunn Hartwell entry. The R1, beautifully turned out machine. Day started off badly for them though, Den, with the bike going down the road.
Yeah, Gary Crilly had the unfortunate honour of being the first rider to fall off, but he's done a great job battling on today. He hurt his ankle quite badly, but he's pressed on, and that's what it's all about, a gritty, determined effort.
There is Mark Avard. It's been a really good day between Avard and Wilshaw. They've had pretty well a cracker of a day. The only person who's really having a better day than most of these guys is Dean Evans, who is seeing this bike heading towards victory lane. Still a long way to go. I wonder how Dino's feeling about this one. Well, right now, it looks like the race is pretty well in the keeping of the #34 bike. There's still 40 minutes to go. And the man to my right owes a great many people for the support that he's had today. None more so than your Diners card, though, Dino.
That's right, mate. They gave me one, and that's what the bike was bought on, and it's got to be sold before the bill's going to be paid next week. So Diners are in for 20 grand at the moment. So I hope they're not watching this, kind of, really.
I'm thinking that they're saying you're in for 20 grand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they know where to find me. I've been there almost before, and we know what happens to TL1000s in 6 hours with me riding them. So yeah, it's 40 minutes, and I'm pretty nervous, to be honest. 3 laps lead, probably about to go 4. Anything can happen in a 6 hour, but yeah, I'm not going to believe it's true until it's happened.
You owe a great deal to the Eastern Creek Motorcycle Wrecker boys.
Yeah, this has been an incredible effort by some very unknown companies and people. You know, I got this bike on Monday and I didn't have any spares or anything, and I had to buy the bike, of course, and so I went to the local wreckers across the way there and asked him if he could help me out for a foot peg or something like that, and the guy heard what I was doing, heard that I didn't have any help, opened up his shop doors after hours and gave me almost a complete bike, enough to come down here with and not have to worry about that side of things during the lead up to this event.
Well, you know, there's more than just Dean Evans' interesting human stories today. Dave Fuller aboard the Aprilia, the 44 entry, has the backing of Sony PlayStation, which has coincided today with the release of the Moto Racer World Tour game on Sony PlayStation. And Eastern Creek Raceway is, in fact, one of the circuits featured on the game. So what a great tie-up for Fuller, the Aprilia PlayStation number 44 entry. Slicing through the field is Paul G, and pretty soon I would expect we'll hand over the reins to Tony Rees for the final time today. Warwick Nowlan is the man that they're all chasing. He is back on the 34 bike, the marathon man of motorcycling. He can go another 18 hours, I reckon. Rob De Castella, however, talk about marathon man, he was the guy that flagged off the race, and that's appropriate in an endurance race.
Yeah, you couldn't have a more enduring person than Robert. It's great to see Dave Stone organise him there. Yeah, well, look at that. It's a big get-off late into the race here. Machine number 9. The rider luckily seems to be up and back on the bike, but bits of fairing, flapping off, and handlebars bent quite severely there.
Yeah, Rodney Davis, postman Pat, unfortunately, man, he threw it a long way down the road. These guys have really struggled today. The Wet For You Maverick team, and you can see there that the guys are thinking, is this worth carrying on with at the moment? The Bike Biz team are in. Tony Rees about to climb on. Graham Morris actively involved here just at the moment. What's he doing there around the side of the bike?
I don't know. He picked something up and he's blocking, his back's blocking what's going on here. He might have been putting some oil into it possibly. Yeah, he was. He's topping up the oil just as probably a precautionary thing. Couldn't see the bike blowing any smoke, but while they're changing the wheels, he's just adding a little bit of oil just as a precaution.
Reese has really got to go. Oh no, this is not the start they needed out of the blocks here. Reese has really got to crank it big time because he's got the World Endurance Champion out there looking for the win. Yeah, the timing is absolutely crucial as we move to this final hour. So Avard and Wilshaw, what a day they've had so far. And that's Wilshaw, I think, on the bike now with the A listed on the helmet. They can feel very happy with their job so far today.
Yeah, they've done a brilliant job, and it's a real good dice between them and the Attlee-Dowson team for third spot in this race. I think it's Mark Avard sitting on the bike there at the moment. The guys from South Lake Motorcycles topping up the tank. Avard getting off and Graham Wilshaw getting on the bike. They certainly look very colourful in their matching leathers. Graham Wilshaw will put in the final stint on this thing, and he's a real hard charger with a lot of experience.
Yeah, mate, like a Rosemount wine, he just keeps getting better with age. Oh, look at this. Simon Souness and Garth Jones. It's been a tough day for them all day. They've been off the circuit a couple of times, and now looks like may even run out of fuel or something here, so it's a real shocker for them. Meanwhile, here comes Dowson, bringing the number 2 R1 into the pit area for the final time, where he'll hand over to Attlee, so Attlee's going to have to crank some big ones as well. This is really where you've got to be careful to guard against those mistakes. You can push too hard, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think they've come in for a bit of a splash and dash here. Oh no, looks like they're going to stick the jack under the rear and change the rear wheel. The fire marshal's down there. Fuel going in now. Attlee having a bit of a talk to Dowson, finding out just how the track is.
No rubber, Dan. I think they're just going to go straight out with a splash.
Yeah, quick splash. They look like they're going to change the rear wheel there, but they decided that probably the tyre must be all right. That's why they were conversing with each other, and he's saying probably no, don't bother changing the tyre, go with it how it is.
I'll tell you what, talking about all these tyres that we've put on today, Dan, because it's been such a crucial part of the whole deal. You know, sports bike, road and race, they've been busy campers today. Most of these guys using the sports bike tyre warmers before they go on. No one is bolting on cold rubber today, I don't think, thanks to sports bike.
No, that's right. They are always actively involved in the sport and got a good product, and many of the leading teams are using their tyre warmers. The advantage of a tyre warmer, obviously, is you can go really hard from the word go. You don't have to spend a couple of laps building temperature into the tyres.
Man, this bloke is just rocketing around. What a great coup for the event. Oh, someone has gone down hard. That is torn up, that machine. I'm not sure who it is, but it's just been a big, big get-off. Warwick Nowlan, the Aussie, returning to a triumphant event really for him at Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway. If he can hold on that bit longer. Stop, go penalty on Marty Attlee. Oh, Attlee, ooh, whoa, he is absolutely filthy by the looks of things. And looking down towards the pit lane to find out what the go is there. Any news?
I think we'll usually get a stop-go for possibly passing under a yellow flag or speeding in the pits. Look, he's left the pits in a real hurry. He's going to have the red mist out here now. The helicopter coming around to get a few shots of the final segment of this race.
2 laps remaining, and Warwick Nowlan looking to bag the 6 hour. Ostar and Two Wheels putting on a fine event today along with Dave Stone. There's been all the drama you'd expect from an event like this. And this man right here has just come to town with one thing on his mind. It's to win the 6 hour. He's been riding in events as long as 24 hours. He regards this really as a sprint, but I tell you what, the Bike Biz boys have stood up to the challenge.
You know, it's been an interesting race, and it certainly hasn't been a lay-down misère for them. They have had a good, smooth run, but they've had great assistance from the team. Everything has run along smoothly. All 3 riders are very evenly matched in their lap times. And but Nowlan's really cut a fine picture running around the circuit. Hasn't basically put a foot wrong any of the riders, and it certainly looks, I don't want to put the mocker on him, but it certainly looks like even at this late stage of the race, he's not backed off. He's still flying around. In fact, someone just told me he set, in fact, the fastest lap of the race on the lap before this. So a 1 minute 35.5, I think it was.
He just went past the PlayStation bike. In fact, here comes the PlayStation machine here, the 44. And at the moment, this man with just a lap and a bit to go is going to make this team very happy. They've formed a potent combination. I bet you Tony Rees is riding the wheels off the Bike Biz machine. That's another one. He's come so very, very close to winning. We're into the final lap right here. And Warwick Nowlan going for the second twist of the grip. I have no doubt at all he's not going to let this one just cruise around, Dennis.
No, you can see the graphic pictures there. He's really going for it. You've got to keep your concentration up. He'll be having a little bit of a think now about what he might do after the race and having a nice sip of cold champagne. But he's really cutting his way through the field here. And as I said earlier on, just done a great job all day long. Everything's run smoothly. The bike's performed faultlessly. And Dean Evans has probably grown a few more grey hairs over the day, worrying about all the things that might have happened. But so far, they've certainly put together a race-winning package.
Well, just a few corners left for Nowland. There's been a day of heartbreak and certainly a day of excitement for a lot of other people as well, but this team will celebrate. Reese has got to be happy along with Graham Morris. Here he comes, arm up in the air, his fist is clenched, and Warwick Nowland, together with Mark Willis and Jamie Stouffer, will win the Austar 2-wheels 6-hour endurance race from Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway. What a feeling up on the pegs. Look, Mum, no hands. And everybody coming to the pit wall and celebrating along with this team what has been a fabulous result. There it is, the crew delirious with happiness as well, you'd imagine. I'm sure Evans is relieved, and I'm sure that, wow, look at that, 2 laps, 55 seconds ahead, the gap between first and second. I'm sure the phone is ringing right now. At Sydney City Motorcycles, how'd you like to buy back your bike? Here comes the modal flag. Evans is down there. I'm thinking we could roast some rubber here. Tyre technicians are not going to get a good look at this one.
No, it's amazing. Dean Evans is a really enthusiastic guy. He's planned out and he's run over the far side of the circuit there to turn 2 and give him the modal flag to try and fly the flag for the sponsors.
Well, what a great coverage of today's event. 6 hours of non-stop handlebar heroics. And this man right here has come and well and truly kicked the field in the pants. Although he did certainly have his challenges throughout the day. And wow, for a bike that's just out of the crate, it didn't take much sorting out, did it? Here we go. Time to light up the rear. We're about to turn the Dunlops into a daiquiri here. Yep, forget any research you might have done on that one, Dennis Neal. Warwick Nowland with his team wrap up a fantastic 6-hour event thanks to Austar and 2 Wheels. Let's go to the pits and catch up with some very happy team members. In amongst all the excitement, here is 2/3 of this winning equation. Congratulations, guys. It's got to feel good, a victory for all of you.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, pan around. Yeah, these guys, those guys, guys behind you, Dunlop guys, they're the guys that make it all possible. I mean, we get the easy job, we just ride the bike. Everything sort of went smoothly today, bar a sort of shower about halfway through, which sort of made things a little bit interesting, but
Him. Still no sign of Dean Evans.
A week ago the bike was had a number plate on it and was riding along the roads getting run in. But that's all we did, put 1,000 Ks on the road on it. Put some, the boys at Motorcycle Weaponry, they were the pit crew actually, and I was a bit worried at first actually, but fantastic job. All the team did a fantastic job. So
Where's the boss? I thought you would have passed him out on the track there somewhere.
He is, he's over the back there, and he brought this big motul flag out, so I carried that around, but I couldn't pull wheelies with it, so I sort of dumped that and got into the wheelies. So.
Didn't want to take the chance of putting him on the bike with you?
No,
That'd be dangerous.
he ran it in and wrecked the rear shock, so 'cause he's a bigger guy than me. So, and my 2 teammates here, fantastic, Mark Willis and Jamie Stouffer. fantastic effort by all the team. So I'm very happy.
Enjoy the win. I'm sure you're going to get a kiss from a very happy fat man.
Oh, great. That's something to look forward to, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you.
Who's going to buy the bike?
I don't know, some lucky person. It's a good bike. I mean, motorcycle weaponry, Steve especially, just put it in all the hard yards in the last 3 days. Just turned this thing from a road bike into a race winner. I'm just so pumped for the boys. They've done a hell job. Absolute sensational job. Rung them up 3 or 4 days ago. Said, would you like to ride a motorcycle? They said, we love riding motorcycles. I said, I can't afford to pay you. They said, hell, we'll just show up, we'll show them what we can do, you know. They spend a lot of time overseas. We only get to see them sometimes on telly if we're lucky.
Still have to sell the bike, and there's a call for you. It's Diners Club. They want to know about the first monthly statement.
Yeah, there is actually the first month. Diners, listen, can I do a deal for you? It's a bike, it's only a few days old, it's only ridden on Sundays. And I think it's only done about 6 hours work.
Well, Tony Rees, congratulations on second. I guess you would have preferred the win, but it's still a strong result.
Yeah, no, it's good to finish. You know, like second's not really what we wanted, but at the end of the day, we came home and everything's in one piece, and the team did a really good job. You know, pit stops were just excellent. You know, they just got the bike back out straight away, and now I'd like to thank everyone that's helped Bike Biz, as you say it over here.
There you go, you said it right.
And the Six Hour.
What was this, a sucks hour?
Yeah, no, it was good. You know, appreciate everyone helping out and Bike Biz and that sponsoring the team and making it work.
You're going to get a win in this country, you know that.
Oh, we're going to keep working at it. You know, like it's pretty hard work. There's some good boys over here. You know, they're fast.
Okay. Well, Graham Wilshaw, an excellent day's work for you at this point, 3rd place.
Yeah, no, it's good. As you just said, there's been a bit of confusion over it, but that monitor we had in the garage, the transponders we've been using all day, it was there as really an experimental thing. It was a last-minute thing. The monitor's been reading a different pattern all day, and we really never knew where we were at any particular time.
Yep.
And it dropped us down to 4th when we thought we should have been 3rd. And all of a sudden, everything changed, and we were where we should be, which was 3rd. And yeah, at the end of it, that's where I think we are, unless someone says otherwise. But yeah, we're pretty happy. It's all gone well.
Well, that's all we have time for. Hope you've enjoyed today's coverage. There are some very happy boys and some girls about to get champagne thanks to Rosemount Wines. Thank you, Dennis Neal, for being a part of the coverage. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Certainly have, Wade. It's been an excellent event. We look forward to it again next year.
Well, you can see the girls always end up getting drowned in the champers. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage, everybody. Thanks to Ostar and Two Wheels and, of course, Dave Stone. What a fantastic event as we cruise over the top of Eastern Creek Raceway. We'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the racing.